all works in progress and we're all egging each other on to get better in a positive way. That's the kind of group that I want to be surrounded by.
Yeah. I don't actually, and this might be a little bit controversial, I don't want a Michael Jordan.
You heard that right. We don't want a Michael Jordan. What do you want instead?
I want a team of people who aren't afraid of the top.
Yeah, nice.
I don't want someone to look up and be like, oh, wow, like she's so amazing. Like, and try.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, and try and be like that. I want them to be the best they can be. And look, there's still things that exist. Like, yeah, cool, you might not actually be hitting KPIs. You might be under the sales targets. Like, that's a different conversation that we get to have. But what I mean is I want a team that lives by the values. What's up, She's Not Selling sisters? In this episode, we explore the dark side of female entrepreneurship. We get really raw, really real, and this is something that we challenge you to do, is to have a difficult conversation with yourself. So if you want to know how, stick around and let us know what you think of it. Hello.
Hey, Queen.
How are you?
I mean,
How are you?
How are you?
Gee, it's such a natural thing to say, isn't it?
Yeah, Jesus, I didn't.
How are you? I hate that question so much.
Yeah, I know. I actually said that today in my coaching session. I'm like, stop asking how are you.
Yeah, everyone.
Ask what's the challenge that you're going through this week?
Yeah, or how are you feeling? I feel like that's better than how are you?
Yeah.
Which most people respond with, good, not bad, how are you?
You. And?
Good.
And?
Great. Where do we go next to this? And there's the opposite of connecting with someone.
Literally. But a little birdie told me we have something quite interesting to talk about today.
Yes, we do. Yes, this one is really something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while.
Why is that?
Mainly because we've been experiencing a shit ton of it.
That 8-octave up?
Just spot the elephant in the room. There it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the dark side of female entrepreneurship. This is how I want to preface that. We're really looking into why, as women, we feel like the first thing we do is to tear someone down when they rise to the top. And I want to talk about why that's why we do that. Because when you
default?
when you understand why, you can actually have empathy and you're like, okay, when someone's doing this, it's more about them, not about me. But when it's happening to you in the moment, unless you know that, it does feel like a lot of noise. And sometimes it gets very, very, very loud.
Yeah.
So that is what I want to talk about today. And this is going to be an unfiltered, all the things. Like, I'm just going to come out and say all the stuff because bitchiness is something that I will not tolerate. It is a standard of mine that if I see it happening, if I ever was to hear that someone was bitching behind my back, it's just a straight up sign of disrespect.
100%.
Straight up.
A zero tolerance policy of bitchiness should be a global law.
Yeah.
How much better would life be?
You just don't have to worry then oh, what so-and-so said about me, because they didn't say anything about you because they're not bitching.
Yeah.
And I have had, when I've done all my work, all my shadow work, all my wound healing and figuring out where that comes from, it all comes back to year 5 when my bestest friend decided one day in the library that she didn't want to be my friend anymore.
Rude.
And she was like, she literally called me over to where the books were and she was like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And I was like, why? What did I do? Thinking it was about me.
Of course, you're in year 5.
Yep. And you know what? When I really did some work with my mentor, what this actually came from is I got announced as being a prefect for year 5. So there's only 2, one boy and one girl from each class, and I was the girl that was chosen. And it was literally the day after that she decided she didn't want to be my friend anymore.
I'm just taking some time to process what you're saying because as you're talking, these old scenarios are coming up for me. And I literally have to go and journal after this because that's just triggered a few things in me. As you can see, I'm starting to get emotional.
Yeah.
But something very similar, same thing. It was in school as well. And it was the school captaincy. I'm literally going to cry. It's how much our bodies store trauma.
I know.
Triggers.
Yeah.
Literally. And then we practice this out with behaviors and patterns.
Exactly.
Right? So we had a school captaincy and I got voted for the top one. Lost out to this girl by half a point because the teachers wanted her because I was the rebel. So the students wanted me, but the teachers wanted her. And from that age, I literally just realized I've been playing a pattern of choose me, pick me. And so that's been playing out in my personal relationships.
Wow.
And I feel like I don't get picked. And so then I tend to people like please, not in business or anything, but in personal relationships. And so my boundaries with friends and everything is really strong now. But you know how you lost a friend in year 5? I lost a friend like 5 months ago. And it was her birthday the other day. And I reached out to her and I didn't get any response again. And I will never know why. But like, it's still that choose me, that pick me. And I've had so many friends be like, well, you know, it was clear that she was envious. She was jealous. I don't know. But if that was the case, that also makes me really sad because 17 years of friendship, you would think, isn't there a place in women where we could be supportive to the point where we want to see each other win? We want to see each other like get to the top, like you and I.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're about to cry.
I know, because like, honestly, like, and this is, you've told me about this and it literally plays in my mind all the time because it's just such a hurtful thing. It's
crazy
to have to someone that you thought was going to be in your life forever to just cut contact and not for no reason, no apparent reason. Maybe there is a reason, but you don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
And that is like exposing a wound that if so deep. Like that's going to show up in so many where like you cling on to friendships and you'll be worried that like if you're not extra and above and that you'll lose them.
Yeah. But now I've just gone to the other way and it's serving me really well. I've got a beautiful community of women here in Bali. I don't have any attachment that's insecure with any of them.
That's so beautiful.
For the first time in my life, I feel supremely secure by being unattached. And I can wholeheartedly say that they all want to see me succeed to the place where I'm a multi-millionaire and me vice versa. And know that there is still room for us to always be in each other's lives because we fucking care.
Yeah. And let me ask you, like that support that you have and that you hold for other women, were you always like that?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, let's not fucking joke around.
Yeah, let's not pretend that there hasn't been someone that we've been like, and this is what's wild is like, let's just say it.
Yeah, I was the jealous girl.
Yeah, me. I also was.
Yeah, but when I was younger, we do the work, right? To still be jealous and envious so at this age, like when you're in your late 20s and 30s and 40s and on, shame on you, man.
Shame, yeah.
Like, do the fucking work.
Exactly.
Don't be that bitchy bitch. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Be the girl's girl.
Yeah.
Be the one who stands up and says, hey, don't talk about it like that.
Exactly. That's one thing that I have full respect for with you because I know to my grave that if someone was bitching about me, that you would not buy into the pie at all. Like you would not be like, oh yeah, like blah, blah, blah. I know that you wouldn't do that. And same for me. Anything that I say ever, I would say to their face. Anything. Yeah. Anything. And there might be times where like, you know, you'll come up in conversation, especially with me and Scott when we talk about, but like it's never anything that's non-loving.
Exactly.
And it's something that like I would say anything, and this I truly, since that moment in year 5, I've told myself that I will never ever be the bitch. And even in high school, you know, I like never ever ever was bitchy to anyone. Like I was friends with everyone. I was friends with people like we had like the popular group and like the nerdy group. Yeah. I was friends with everyone from all groups because I was like, I'm not going to label someone as...
You're not a bully.
No, I'm really not. I'm really, I despise bullying. When I was a teacher, I had friendship contracts that I rolled out because if I heard anyone had been bullied or was involved in some kind of bullying incident, that was just immediately like takes me right back to my inner child, where like I felt unworthy, I felt inadequate, I felt unloved, I felt like that shit follows you.
100%.
It follows you until you can exactly. Yeah. You start to mold yourself to be liked. You know, and and I get it. Like this stems back from like, you know, years and years and years ago, like women were told what we needed to be liked. Yeah. You know, like
to survive, literally.
In school. Yeah. You're liked for being pretty, you're not liked for being bold.
Nope.
You're liked for just going along with the flow. Like no one ever liked the outspoken girl at a party.
Yeah.
They liked the one that just like played Nintendo.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah, you always want to be popular and pretty and not opinionated.
Yeah.
And that's on that. Like, that's a fact.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's a sad fact, though. But that's the thing. As you get older, you're supposed to shed that high school mentality, that old identity that you were carrying around, that secure blanket of like, if I'm jealous and bitchy towards them outwardly, then maybe no one will inwardly see my flaws.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
But now I'm so okay. You see my flaws, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Someone was like to me on my coaching session, she was like, you're a genius, Tash. I'm like, no, I'm not. I have my hair all messed up. I'm like, no, I'm not. I just say what I feel in the moment with that person, and that's it. When you remove all of those like things and identity labels that you feel that you have to carry as a woman, when you shed all of that, that's when you become really powerful.
Yep.
That's when you magnetize.
Yep. Yeah.
Because that's that authentic frequency.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck anymore if someone wants to choose me or not, because I choose myself.
Exactly. Authentic, abundant. Like, you cannot go wrong when you're operating in those two levels of frequency, because one, it's yourself, so you're never going to repel anyone.
Exactly.
Because you're literally yourself. So like, if
you'll
someone
repel the
is
wrong people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But your authenticity will always, like, no one can ever be like, you are fake.
Call in your own tribe, honey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then like abundance is like, it stops you from comparing and seeing competition as a way to tear someone down. And that's what I want to ask you. Like, why do you feel like competition shows up as comparison and criticism in women? Like, why do you think that?
Well, number one, it's primal,
Yeah.
right? Competition and comparison shows up in women. It's primal. There was only one spot at the top.
Yeah.
Right? And so we had to fight our way to get that top spot. And if you weren't, you were basically just kicked to the curb. But now that's not the case. I mean, how many humans are there? There's like 8 point something billion or whatever it is, right? There is so much room for growth, so many spots available. It's only in your own limited thinking that you believe that those spots aren't available to you. But it is rewiring like a primal conditioning. That caveman brain, the reptilian brain that sits all the way down the bottom, that's like, if it's not me, it can't be her. If I can't have it, no one can.
Yeah.
That's the shit that gets you nowhere.
I know. And we all say we want sisterhood. We all say we want sisterhood.
Right.
But yet we have this deep-rooted belief that there's only room for one woman at the top. And you can see it. You can see it in female friend circles where like there is always like the leader.
Correct.
Or people are fighting to be the leader. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, you see it all the time because we're conditioned to believe there's only one person on the top. And that's where tall poppy syndrome comes from. And that's where people, their first instinct is to tear someone down to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, 100%. It's the projection of your insecurities.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's coming from that place, that's what brings you to bitterness and resentment. And then guess what? No one wants to be around that woman. So maybe you win in the short term, but you definitely lose in the long game.
Exactly.
No one's staying around your energy.
Yeah. This is like evolutionary psychology. Like, seriously. Think about what women used to have to do to get a man. Like, we're talking like caveman days, right?
Yeah.
They literally had to compete for male protection, for resources. They had to compete. So you're right. This is something that is so deeply within us.
Yeah.
And it's just knowing, this is why I said earlier, like, knowing about it can help you before you respond in a situation. Just think about what this is. Give yourself some love. Be like, it's okay that you feel this, but then choose to act differently and respond differently. Be part of the movement of changing this.
Correct. It is going to take a really long time though. Even now when I catch myself thinking, like, because my parents sent me to an all-girls school, right? And now when I say that, I hear people saying, oh, I'm sending them to an all-girls school. My first initial thought is like, oh my God, so much bitchiness.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I know that we're still not there as a society. We're still not there.
No, we're not.
Right? You see it all the time. Men have there's so much brotherhood. There's brotherhood.
I know.
And like, actually, they have these spaces and these retreats and everything for men. And it's like, women, this is starting to become a thing. But like, how good does it feel to actually be in a circle of women? It's the most empowering thing.
It really is.
Like, I prayed to God for so long to give me a circle of friends that was going in the same direction. I can hand on my heart say, my close network here is incredible. Incredible. We can all travel the world together. We all make money remotely. We all have big dreams.
Same beliefs.
We're all
same
supportive
values.
of each other's dreams, though. That is the thing that I was like, Wow.
Yep. You know what really solidified that for me? We were out for dinner the other night and we were at an influencers dinner. We weren't the influencers, but we were invited along.
Speak for yourself.
And I usually when you watch someone in your group, just from what I've seen and what I've been a part of, usually take photos of themselves, everyone's standing back with these kind of looks on their faces.
Right.
What did every person play in this? It was literally, if you listen to Tash taking the photo, she's like, yes, girl, work it. You had me being the director being like, oh, I think here I can see the vision. Then you had Winnie being the creative assistant. That's support.
Yeah.
That's structure. Yeah. That's learned.
Yeah.
That's not always the way it's been.
That's nice. That's learned. We literally gave each other roles that was complementary to support each person that was in the limelight.
Totally.
That's right. And that seems for me so normal to do.
Yeah.
But my goodness, because I was like, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a thought that someone would do that, but it's true.
Yeah. They would sit there and just be like,
wow,
oh my God, look what she's doing. Oh my God, look at that, look at that, look at this.
God, it's so important to be really careful of who you surround yourself with, because that it is. Show me your 5 closest people and I'll show you your future. It's actually based on that. I played a video the other day on my phone. It's so funny. It's Winnie taking a video of me in my little gym gear up doing breathwork with the Bali sunset. And I played it with sound, and all you can hear is her being like, oh my God, yes, girl, so fucking hot. It's just like, I love that. I pray that everyone who is watching this, that you have someone in your life and you develop a circle. Find your circle, attract your circle of women who will do this for you.
Yeah, don't just put up with who you meet in high school.
No.
I learned the hard way. I actually women can be really cruel. 100%. Really cruel. I had a very close-knit friendship group in high school, and I was just because I was at a different phase, I had a boyfriend, a long-term boyfriend, they would just do things and not invite me and just exclude me. Again, highlighting my work. Exactly. Yeah. So when I see things and I'm like, oh, I wasn't invited to that, or that they're organizing things without me, I immediately trigger that I'm not good enough. Again, someone's better than me. And so I know that it's there.
Yeah.
So when you finally get a group of girls who truly want you to win, don't push it away. Don't push it away. Actually, don't self-sabotage. Exactly right. Yeah. And I could see myself going into that pattern where I was like, okay, what is coming up for me here? What work do I need to do? Because this is special.
Yeah.
And I deserve it. I deserve to be part of a friendship group that love me for who I am and want me to win.
Yeah. Because you love yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's the ticket.
Yeah.
Is I stopped coming from a place of, like I said before, wanting other people to choose me. And I just was like, I'm choosing myself.
Yeah.
That changes everything. When you thoroughly, 100%, wholeheartedly, at a soul level, choose yourself and you're okay with who you are, all the flaws, all the shadows, all the good things, people will then come into your life to elevate you to where you deserve to be.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't choose yourself, you will keep attracting people that will continuously tear you down. But it's not tearing you down just to tear you down. In my experience, it's tearing you down to get to the root cause, the root soul, your inner child again. All those scabby wounds, it's trying to get past.
It's trying to help you heal.
It's trying.
Yeah, it's trying. And sometimes you're not aware enough to learn the lesson the first time.
Oh, or the second.
Or the second, or the third. So you keep experiencing it.
Correct.
And so I want to touch on something here, because a lot of people, maybe they're not aware, but we actually lead a community of over 1,000 women.
It's a lot of hormones.
Yes, it is. And so I want to talk about how we lead this community and how we hold that standard, because for me, you can't just chuck a bunch of women into a Slack group and everything be kumbaya. It does not work like that.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. And there's been moments recently where I've actually incidents have come to me where bitchiness has been involved. And so there's a few things I want to talk about. Firstly, I want to get your opinion on this. What's some of the things that we've done to create this community of women who support and have that view of everyone deserves to be here and everyone gets to win?
Yeah, I love sharing my opinion. So one thing that I'll say straight off the bat that's come to my head is, if I'm taking sales calls for She Sells to vet some girlies to see if they're a good fit, I will always pre-frame and say, our acceptance rate is 30%. That's it. Like if Brooke and I meet you and you're not a culture fit, we're not going to have you in just because.
Yeah. If we can't catch up with you and have a wine, like you're not it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. If you're not going to add value, it's not about like the training that we're going to give you. We know that that's valuable. But if you're not adding value to the community, if you're not bringing positive light, we don't need that.
Yeah.
There are other accounts, companies, programs out there that love toxic energy. We're not about that. So I pre-frame and they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
We don't do bitchiness. We had enough of that in high school.
Not yet.
Like
We don't
just said.
choose.
No.
We don't like base it on a certain criteria. As long as because empowerment needs boundaries, right?
Exactly.
It needs vision.
Yep.
It needs it needs, you need to know where you're going.
Everything.
It needs values, standards.
Yeah.
So something that I personally do is I do realignment posts all the time.
All the time.
Where I'm like, hey, this is me lovingly calling something out, but
Yeah.
something that I'm not tolerating.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
And it is always, every single time I do one of those posts, I only receive positive comments.
Oh,
Oh, Brooke,
so
I needed that
well
today. Oh, thanks
Yeah.
for this great reminder. Like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, that
Yeah.
is so important. It's like, I'm holding up a mirror right now, guys.
Yes.
Like, I'm not tolerating this.
Nope.
I'm not, like, it's against my values. It's against the standards of She Sells. It's against our vision and how we as a collective create a movement of empowered women who win.
Exactly. I love that. We also introduced She Masters, which we touched on in a different
Yes.
episode. And that has had so much positive feedback, like understanding your vision, your triggers, your wounds, who you are, how you're showing up, your identity labels, all of that. It's rooting someone in that positive energy, being like, hey, you can actually live from that space. And how much nicer is life when you decide to live from the glass half full instead of the glass half empty? Because everything changes.
Yep. If we didn't have those boundaries in place, if we didn't have all these things, you know what would run the room? Insecurity.
Oh, yeah.
And we just have all of these women feeling insecure, looking at the person at the top and sending literal bad vibes.
Evil eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to fail. I want you to fail. And that is so awful.
Yes.
But it literally happens
all the time. We talked about this the other day, remember? This is why I have the evil eye tattooed on me. I'm literally wearing it right now. I have it on my ankle. We talked about it. And so we say, like, we're very careful what we say to certain people at certain times just because.
Do the work in the dark.
You never know.
Yeah.
Like, you hope that it comes from a good place, but just not everyone is there yet, right? So we make sure we cultivate a community where you're not going to be sent evil eye. We're not about that life, right? So you do a lot of realignment posts.
Yep.
We have the She Masters. I also do a lot of mindset posts as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what worries me is like, what if we weren't there to be their mirror? Are you actively working on yourself
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
find your triggers?
I mean, there's only so much you can do, right? And like something that I just read the other day is Google did this 2-year-long study, right?
Okay.
And it was basically looking at why women feel the need to do this. Like, why is it their go-to default?
Right.
Yeah. And psychological safety is the number one thing. So when a woman doesn't feel like her job is safe, so let's use remote sales because I feel like let's say a woman feels like her job is not safe because someone else is better than her, right? Instead of feeling inspired and empowered to learn from her and just knowing that she will be there too,
Yeah.
what we do is the claws come out.
Yeah.
The claws come out and we tear down.
Yeah.
We literally tear her down because, again, if we go back to the caveman days, like that's what we feel like we have to do, that competition. We have to tear her down so that we can get one up.
Because there's only one spot at the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's not.
So like, how do we as a team, and like, I know you've been on different accounts before, I've been on different accounts, you've managed teams, like we've both been in different environments. How do you send psychological safety to the women on your team? Like, what would you do?
I'm so friendly. And that's the thing. Like, I can be best friends with anyone as long as I actually feel that you are a good person, right? Like you can social butterfly. But like, if I'm like, I see a girly, maybe she's a little bit insecure, I'm like, I'm just sending you so much love.
Yeah.
I'm sliding into people's DMs. I'm
Yeah.
being like, hey,
Yeah.
that call was amazing. Well done on that cash collected. You're great. I love this about you. Well done. Congratulations. You'll never hear me be like, oh, but like, are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm never like that. So that's how I send safety messages, by actually putting myself out there, being the first person to break the ice and say, hey,
Yeah.
you're okay with me. I support you. Right? Literally, it's funny. There's a personal story about this. My new friend, I don't know if I should say her name. I won't. my new friend that I met here in Bali, she is gorgeous, stunning, right? And so this is the thing as well. You'll see the insecurity with women. A gorgeous girl comes into the picture. Maybe they've got a man that's next to them. Get really insecure. Is she single? Has she got a partner? Is she going to steal my man? Again, there's only one spot at the top, right? It is so bloody ingrained. She had to send a psychological safety message by bringing her partner into the conversation so the girl could physically relax. But I see it all the time. It happens with me as well.
Oh my God.
It happens because it's in our DNA. And so how do you feel like if it's in our DNA, what do we start to do? How do we start to rewire this?
Yeah. Yeah. I like to create an ecosystem for healing. Because sales can bring out every wound.
100%.
Sales will literally show you everything. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. This is too hard. Like, I'm not being chosen. I'm not enough. Like, everything will come out of you, every single wound. So something that's important to me is to make sure that when I'm creating this ecosystem for healing, I'm not just rewarding the top. I'm not constantly just feeding the top person and putting them on a pedestal. I'm actually rewarding the effort. I'm rewarding it's kind of like the participation. Like, I get it. Like, you're not the best, though I really like the activity you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I saw the extra mile that you went the other day with this particular client. Like, that's what this is about. That's holding the bar. That is the standard that we want to cultivate within this team.
Like, keep trying.
Exactly. I see you.
Keep trying.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, what do we need to do? I love that. I love that. What do we need to do? What do you need from me to help you reach notice my language here. What do we need to do so that you can reach your full potential?
Yeah.
I'm never going to say, what do you need from me so that you can reach Tash's level?
Yeah.
What do you think that's going to do? Make them feel not good enough. Make them feel like they have to change something about themselves.
Exactly. They're like, I'm never going to be Tash. Good, because
you shouldn't be.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. It should be you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And your top's going to look different from your top.
100%.
So you never should compare in that way. It's like, but what are you doing? The question is, are you doing everything you can so that you're the best in your eyes?
I literally tell people, I'm like, don't listen to my calls.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't do that.
Yep.
Because you'll try and copy me.
Yep.
And it won't work. Because you're not me. And like, I don't want to be you. I don't want you to be me.
Yeah.
Like, go and find what works for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I love that. Let me ask you, like, who do you want on your team? Okay, let's think about this. Do you want someone...
I was like, do you want me to start listing names?
No. I mean, like, as in traits, right? Do you want someone who's the best but have a shitty attitude and doesn't do any behavior, just outcomes driven, right? Do you want that person? So maybe they're like, yeah, they're the best. Or do you want a team full of people who are like driven by the behavior and led by the vision, and they've got the standards and they live by the values? Like, I'm telling you every day, I want them.
100%. Like, this is the thing. With our team, we've literally gone out clubbing. Like, we pop champagne, we have beautiful dinners, we have D&Ms and kumbayas. That's the people. Maybe not everyone's number one, but we're all works in progress, and we're all egging each other on to get better in a positive way. That's the kind of group that I want to be surrounded by.
Yeah. I don't actually, and this might be a little bit controversial, I don't want a Michael Jordan.
You heard that right. We don't want a Michael Jordan. What do you want instead?
I want a team of people who aren't afraid of the top.
Yeah, nice.
I don't want someone to look up and be like, oh, wow, like, she's so amazing. Like, and try.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, and try and be like that. I want them to be the best they can be. And look, there's still things that exist. Like, yeah, cool, you might not actually be hitting KPIs. You might be under the sales targets. Like, that's a different conversation that we get to have. But what I mean is, I want a team that lives by the values and who isn't like, the top is interchanging.
Yeah.
1 month it's someone, the next month it's someone else, maybe the next month after that it's someone else, because everyone is there to work together, and everyone is there to heal, and everyone wants everyone to win.
Yeah. That's the thing though. And I know we'll get onto this in another podcast, but like, being realistic in sales accounts doesn't normally happen.
Yeah.
So we're cultivating a very unique experience in business for women. Intentionally.
Yeah.
Because we've both been through things intentionally that was to drag us down.
Yeah.
By men and by women. And so I think how nice it is to show up to like a workplace where you feel safe and secure as a woman to do well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I want to get one thing straight on that as well. Like, I want to let go of the nice girl like the nice girl standard that we have. When people think of safety, they think of being nice.
What does that even mean? What's a nice girl standard?
Like, to me, a nice girl is like not actually pointing out disrespect.
Oh, right.
Not calling out behaviors that are misaligned with your values. To me, that is like nice girl standard.
Not giving feedback.
Right.
Yeah. Not setting boundaries.
Exactly. Safety to me isn't about never upsetting anybody. That's not safety. Safety is about being trustworthy and being clear.
Yeah. I like that.
Hey, these are our expectations. Do you agree with that? Is this something that you want to be a part of? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Then do I have permission to hold you to those standards? Yes, you do. Great. Then I would ask you, like, how do you like to receive feedback?
Yeah.
To me, that's safety. Because you might say to me, oh, Brooke, I get really anxious if you ever send me a message that says I need to talk to you.
She said exactly my trigger point.
Right. So then I know now, okay, cool. As the leader of this business, like, I am never going to send a message to Tash saying I need to talk to you. ... Exactly. You might say, I like to receive feedback direct and like face to face. Great. So then I would just book a meeting.
Yeah.
I'd probably give you some context as well, because that's important. Otherwise, you probably, that anxiousness will arise. And then we have that openness and that direct feedback from a place of love and from a place of care.
Yeah.
That to me is sending safety.
100%.
Because you know you're not being judged.
Yeah.
You know your job's not at risk. It's like two women connecting and literally sharing feedback from a place of love so that you can get better and rise.
100%.
That's it.
What we do the other day in the team, we asked everyone to do their love languages.
Yeah.
Right? Why?
Again, because everyone receives love differently. Right. Just the way, and like this is such a big learning for me, is the way that you receive love isn't necessarily the way that somebody likes to receive love. So for instance, my love language is words of affirmation and gifts. And that's how I show people love too. Though if someone's love language was quality time, they're being like, this person doesn't love me.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me to understand everybody on the team's love languages means I can personalize their experience. I can make sure that they feel loved, supported, and appreciated in our team.
100%. Everyone knows me. Gifts all the way. It's not how I give love though.
Yeah.
So it's different.
How do you give love?
Yeah. I love physical touch.
Okay.
And words of affirmation to give someone.
Yeah.
As well as acts of service. Like I'll do things for you.
Yeah.
I'll book your appointments. I'll organize the trips. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that.
That's so interesting you say that, Tash. Like that's come at a really good time for me, because I sometimes expect people to show love through the way that I would show love.
Right.
But that's wrong.
Correct.
Like that's not necessarily the way, and just because it's not done that way doesn't mean they don't love you.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
but I know your love language, so we're good. Her birthday's coming up, so we're good.
And then there was me today being like, I don't need any gifts.
I know. I was like, you're gonna love your presents. She's like, wasn't expecting. I was like, don't say such a stupid thing. I know you're a
Cut
gift
the crap,
girl.
Brooke. Cut the crap.
I'm like, give me Cartier any day. I'm a gift girl, silly. But this is what I mean. Like, just being okay with that authenticity as well. Like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to judge me for that, that's on your insecurity of not being okay with your love language, what you want, what you need.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine to sit back and be like, give me gifts every day.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. I love that.
Right?
Yep.
That's security internally.
Yeah.
So important.
In who you are. Absolutely.
Yeah. And when you're secure internally, that's when you won't tear other women down. Because you're not picking them apart.
Great. So this ties me onto my next. Yep, fantastic. This ties me into my next thing that I want to talk about. So women aren't automatically supportive. Okay, we know that. We've literally just spoken about it. Just because they're women doesn't mean that they're supportive.
Yeah.
Like, you know. And that's because expecting someone to be fit just because they have a gym membership, that's literally the same comparison,
so
right?
True, hey?
So, like, I love this because you often hear people being like, oh, I'm a girly girl, like be a girl's girl. But support isn't a vibe.
Right.
It's not just a vibe that you have. It's like literally a skill. So like what would be your advice to someone who's maybe listening to this, feeling a bit called out lovingly because maybe they do have that immediate reaction to tear someone down? Like what would be some advice from you to help them become more supportive?
Have a conversation with yourself. Like cut the shit. Sit down with yourself. I'm not talking about like go get a therapist, go talk to your best friend. No, because other people will validate in different ways, different maps of realities in you based off what you're externally giving them.
Yeah.
No one can ever really see in your own head and your own heart. Only you can.
Yeah.
So have a real bloody conversation with yourself. Find out what your trigger points are, where your wounds lie, and start there. Uncomfortable conversations need to be had internally before they can be had externally. That's my advice.
Wow.
You?
Wow. Well, we had an incident the other day.
Yeah.
Where we were in a training session and one of the newbies was brave enough and courageous enough to put her hand up and be like, I want to have a go at doing this. It was objection handling. Okay. Which is like
That's
already
scary to do.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And it's like you being put in an uncomfortable position because you're holding up a mirror the whole time you're objection handling, right?
And caveat as well, there are many women on these sessions looking at you, just so you know.
30 plus, right?
Yeah.
All at different levels, stages, backgrounds, like life experiences. So this woman is going. Now, someone jumped in when she froze, because she froze for a sec and she was kind of like, I don't know where to go. Someone jumped in over the top and was like, can I just do it?
Oh, no.
So a couple of things. Like firstly, for the person who was in that seat, the one that was like, now she's not feeling good enough. She's lost confidence to do that again.
Yeah.
You know, she's really processing, is this for me? Like, of
Someone
course.
else is taking your top
Exactly.
spot.
So my advice would be to be like, you should be celebrating someone who's ahead of you without making it mean something about you.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm not done. You should then also be the person who's behind you, the newbie. You should be looking at them and going like, I was there too once.
Yeah.
You know, like I was you once and you're going to get to where I am. You shouldn't be looking at them going, oh, I don't want to associate with you because you're not at my level.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like they're just small little things like.
Lead from the front.
Yes.
Extend your hand backwards.
Yes.
It's not that difficult.
Exactly. And like calling someone out for passive aggression, like lovingly but clearly. Like
Passive
that's not,
aggressions,
passiveness is no.
It's not good.
No, I'm sorry. Like if you're going to get.
Pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
I feel like we can do a whole episode on this.
Yeah. If I feel passiveness from someone, which I have lately in the team.
Just say it.
Yep.
Say it.
Just say it.
Call a meeting.
And send a voice note.
Yeah.
Because like, that's another thing you can actually do is like
Yeah.
words, everyone's got their own model of the world.
Yeah.
Words can be misconstrued, meaning can be misconstrued very easily. But when you hear someone say it, you're like, oh.
Tonality, energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Girl, if I don't get an emoji, I'm like, they're angry at me.
Yep. But remember when I was in New York and I was texting you and because Scott was sleeping, I was writing words and I couldn't actually voice note.
Yeah.
And you were taking those words to make it mean something that I didn't actually mean.
Yeah. But I voice noted you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were voice noting me. So I knew.
Yeah.
I could hear that you got upset with the first one.
Yeah.
And so then I adjusted how I was speaking in my language.
It was perfect.
But if I had voice noted that, you would have been like,
Different story.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like, that's another tip. Like send a voice note where you can or jump on a call
Exactly.
to give the feedback.
Yes.
Rather than
Yeah.
being passive.
Be direct with exactly. Yeah, passive energy gets you nowhere. Like passive energy gives me bully vibes.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's that stank eye from the side like, congratulations. I hope you fail.
Yeah. Watching someone take a photo of themselves and being like, oh my God, she looks terrible.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes from Brené Brown. I'm going to read this. I don't want to stuff it out. I don't want to get it wrong. Clear is kind. Unclear is unkind.
Ooh, that's really nice.
Yeah. Kindness isn't about avoiding discomfort.
100%.
So like when I read that to you, like what does that mean for you?
I'm like going through so many, like a movie in my head right now, so many situations where people have left me in a state of unclearness. Is that a word?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've left me there and that's been so unkind. But that's the thing that showed me my wounds, right? So what I love is like, get clear on what you want. Doesn't matter if someone else is unclear with you then.
Hold my hand for a sec.
Get clear on what you want.
Are you open to sharing what happened in Dubai? Because this is a perfect example of that. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
only if you're okay. Because if you're not, like that's
No.
totally fine. But I just feel like that's a perfect example of like what clarity can do to
100%.
someone and what being unclear can do to someone.
yeah, I get the girls ask me all the time when she sells because I always like allude to it a little bit because it was so fucked up. No one's name's going to be mentioned and
Yeah.
no time frames or anything like that. But basically, like I was developing this connection with this guy. We started like talking for like 2 months beforehand. Doing like 2-3 hour FaceTime calls, right? Developing connections. Anyway, he flew me out because he wanted to develop this relationship with me. Stay with him. It was all great, blah, blah, blah. And then just completely ghosted me. Completely. Like left me in the dust in Dubai by myself. I'd never been there. I don't speak Arabic. Lucky I can bounce back and I'm a world traveler. Like I'm good. But That was it.
It was the unclear how, because remember you told me, you were like, you had tried to have that conversation. You tried to be like, hey, like I'm cool with this like ending here.
Yeah, I sensed like something was up and I'm like, let's just end things on like clear, kind notes. Because I'm a direct girly. No, none of that. I was literally left in the dust. Don't ever do that. Don't ever leave anyone in the dust.
No, unclear is unkind. Unclear is unkind. It's unfair.
It's unfair.
It's unkind.
Yeah.
And you know what it was? He didn't have the balls. I'm just going to say it.
Literally.
He didn't have the balls to actually say the truth.
No, I know.
He couldn't get uncomfortable. So he rather, for his own comfort, to just be like, bye, and like, block, done.
Literally.
Don't have to think about it again.
And anyway, like now I'm unblocked, which is wild. But like Brooke is still blocked, and she sells this block because Brooke decided to like, she was like, let me slide into his DMs and be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no, I'm not tolerating that. That is unacceptable behavior from anybody.
100%.
It's unclear, it's unkind, and it's all about you. And all that would have taken in that moment for me not to hate his guts is to literally be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling.
I respect people so much when they're just like, this is how it is. Because you know what that gave me? It gave me so much shame.
Yeah.
Like it brought, which was unnecessary.
Yeah.
That shame was not for me.
No.
That was his shame that he was projecting on me.
Exactly.
But because it was unclear, I let it affect me like that.
Totally.
And so again, had to do all this healing.
Yeah.
So don't ever do that. Don't be the bitchy girl. Don't be the passive girl.
Yeah.
Don't be the unclear person. Like, just say how it is.
Just say how it is, from a place of care.
Exactly.
And that's how you win. That's how everyone in your team feels safe. It's how you know that everyone in your ecosystem supports you.
Yeah.
Truly supports
100%. I'm going to be on that team every single day.
Me too. I have absolutely no tolerance. Honestly, like I would cut someone from my life. If I notice,
Bitches.
yeah, like bye.
Yeah.
I don't want that energy. I don't want to be around someone who is nasty, who is mean, who can't be clear, who tells me one thing to my face and another thing behind my back.
Yeah.
Get out of my life, please.
We had enough of that.
Yeah. So please, like if you're thinking of coming into She Sells, into our community, if you're not there yet, I challenge you to do the work, because I honestly do not tolerate anybody that...
We won't tolerate any bitchiness.
No.
This is a kind and loving and supportive community of women who are being successful in a field that they've never stepped into before, and we're here to see everyone shine.
Yeah.
There's enough sky in the universe for stars to be born.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah. There is. And it's okay that you're not supportive, because we know now where that comes from.
Yeah.
And we know that can be everyone's first instinct, but just do the work.
Yeah. Like we just shared a lot with you. And if we can be vulnerable in front of potentially hundreds of thousands to millions of women, who knows how many people are going to view this in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
But if we can do that, you can have an uncomfortable conversation with yourself and start to understand what your wounds are.
Yeah. Yeah. We know what's going on in that mind.
100%.
We know, and we can feel it.
Yeah.
When you don't want someone to win, it's felt.
Yeah.
When you truly are envious or jealous, or you don't want someone to succeed, that is a felt thing. You'll get a visceral response in your body, because you'll be like, oh, there's just something, I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's off.
Yeah.
And it's that. So don't be the stinky girl.
I think we should end it there. That's perfect.
Stinky, metaphorically speaking.
Cheers to being the non-stinky gal.
Yes.
Yes.
The clear girlies.
The clear girlies.